Well, I'm from the Alumni Association, the Kuramai Kogyokai of Tokyo Tech. It is an association where the alumni as well as students get together. I'm the CEO, and I would like to explain a little bit about the association itself. We have learned at the same university and graduate and then go out into the real world, and we all want to contribute to the society. And this is a group of people who are dedicated to contribute to society. And already the association is celebrating its 108th year. And about 60,000 members are in this association. And from the industrial circles viewpoint, here in Japan, the globalization is a very big issue that we face. And also, the customers' thinking is changing. In the past, it was easy. They just asked us, we want this kind of product. But now they have more vague ideas, something like this system, something that will give us a joy of this kind. That is the demand that customers present with us, meaning innovation has to be part of our work. About 70% or so of the association members are already working out in society, and they are facing these challenges on a daily basis. They need specialized skills, and we need to have a person that is shaped not like the large letter T or the large pie, meaning that you have to have pillars that dig deep down into specialization, and also a horizontal bar which represents the perspective, a very broad perspective. And you have to be able to realize things, to be aware of things. And you need to also have the wisdom and sense and creativity. How do you really nurture this? And I believe we've already heard a lot already, but at MIT I would like to ask, how do you nurture people who will be wanted by the industry, by the companies? How do you really nurture and develop these human resources? And I was hoping to ask Professor Gronsky, you showed us that many of the students receive scholarship or Pell Grants, meaning that the education before they go up to university, their education in the past has also been really wonderful. So it seems that maybe the students have been motivated from a very younger age before they reach UC Berkeley. So if you can tell us about the background of the students. Now, as for the Alumni Association, what we do is that we go out to elementary schools, junior high schools, to teach children about the joy of making things. We call this group Kurarika, short for Kuramai Rika Kyoshitsu, or Kuramai Science Class. We go to elementary and junior high schools so that they can understand the joy of really making things, how fun it is. We want them to understand that. Or to the university students, we have some seminar with alumni that are now working in companies, ask them to hold lectures about the real world. And also, we have some meetings among people who are in managerial positions. Sometimes we ask younger people to take part in these meetings so that they can learn something to become leaders in the future. And we also provide consultation to people who want to create their own venture companies. We also have a women's association, which is called the Kurenai Kogyokai, so that we can have more women engineers active in society. But thank you very much for the wonderful presentations. They were really gave me a food for thought.
Panellist.
Thank you.
I think the three new panelists have given us a new insight into the issues being discussed here. Mr. Kitashiro has said that we should aim not to become number one in Japan, and at least maybe not number one in the world, but maybe number three. Though there was a politician who said, "What's wrong with winning a silver and not a gold?" And also Ms. Craig Henderson has talked about internationalization, the importance of international engagement, collaboration, and Mr. Shoyama has talked about the role of the industry in the business community and universities, and also the alumni association, and also before entering university, when the students are still in high school, they should receive more information as to where they should be going. I think this would incentivize them to choose more carefully the university. So I'd like to proceed with the discussion, and I'd like to ask the earlier three panelists, having heard the three new panelists, and also how to try to attract young people to universities. Maybe we could comment on that.
Yeah.
Encouraging new students, young students?
Encouraging young students, as well as how the alumni society cooperate with home university.
So I think the example you gave of reaching out to schools is great. It's fabulous. It's absolutely an excellent thing to do. And I think that this is something that alumni associations could do, but I would also encourage universities to think about doing this. I'll give you an example from America. Maybe this happens in Japan, I'm not certain. But it's still the case in America that a young girl, age 10, is likely to have a teacher tell her, girls don't do math, girls don't do physics. This is a terrible thing to say. It's really awful. And yet it still happens. And so, for example, MIT has a program where every January we send out women engineering students across the country, much like you described, with projects. Have the students build something, and we go to middle schools or to elementary schools to talk about the excitement of making things. I love that idea. To talk about how women can do this, why this is a great thing to do, but to really reach out. So I think this is something that not only alumni associations should do, I think universities should do this. We need to really think about capturing the excitement of young students before they get told you can't do this, and let them realize that this is a great place to go. I love your example. I think it's a great example. Thank you.
I would just add that some of the best evangelists for our institutions of higher learning are our current students. So it would be very important that in this process of having the university try to interest young people to come there, the university sends their best emissaries, their current students. They're closer in age, they have a lot more connections to the next generation students, and we should help those students in that process.
Mishima 先生、よろしくお願いします。
President Mishima, please. Well, we say that we have to make our universities more international, and this is the reason why we're doing this education reform. But one of the uniqueness of Japan is that we have this entrance exam system. It's very hard to get into universities, and high school students, well, we wonder whether they're studying hard to enter Tokyo Tech or trying to get into a good university, whichever university it is. I think that's where the problem lies. And also the high school education is too much focused on getting a good score in the entrance exam. Normally, in the adolescence, children should have a lot of experience and learn a great deal, but they're so focused on the entrance exams in senior high school. What about junior high school or elementary school? Well, when it comes to linguist skills and public speaking, the children here are not trained to do such things very much. And as long as they're good girls, good boys, and get good scores, they're complimented for doing that. Unless we break out from this type of approach, I don't think that we can motivate the students to really study the things that they want to. Well, what really struck me listening to the two gentlemen here is that the students want to change the world. They have this vision. They want to better the society. Well, we in Japan don't see the children having such motivation coming to university. I think amongst the university professors, they're saying that you have to change from the bottom, meaning elementary schools. But if we rely on that and wait for that, nothing will change. So the university should take the lead and change first and tell them that the university has changed such and such a way. So in order to enter these universities, the children should be highly motivated from a very young age. I think that's the approach that we have to take now. Thank you. Mr. Kitashiro? Well, what President Mishima said towards the end, the fact that you have to change from the bottom up, I think it's the other way. If the universities change, and it's because you have those terrible entrance exams that the students have to study for the exams. MIT, Berkeley, you don't have such entrance exams, do you? I don't think you do. At least don't have that type of an exam. Well, you do choose, but you have that selection process, but you don't have the exams per se, like we have in Japan. So, well, and we have to have Olympians. And if the competitors don't have exams to pass, and the Japanese athletes have to pass the exam, there's no way of winning the race. And therefore, you have to change the method of choosing students who will be entering the university. Well, Tokyo Tech can change if they want to. If you say that it's fair to choose students who have the best scores, well, if Tokyo Tech, which is such a prestigious university, says that they're not going to do it anymore, and instead, if you say that be it physics or chemistry or biology, if you encourage the students to study whatever subject they're interested in very hard, and if the student can state their own opinion and have integrity, and if you say that it's enough, and if you have this policy that you're going to choose students who are not going to cheat in exams, I think this will change. You should be the first national university to do away with the entrance exam system. Oh, people are applauding me. Thank you. Well, then. Well, I'd like to pose a question to the professors from MIT and UC Berkeley. Well, looking at your budget, the state government budget is less than 20%. It's a very small segment of your total budget, 10% plus. And you have the tuition revenue and the research funding as well as the private gifts. So these account for a large portion, especially the donations. But I think the U.S. universities are working hard to collect donations. Well, I've graduated from UC Berkeley, but every year I get a phone call from one of the students there, and they say, you graduated from our engineering faculty, and we need to better our school by this and that. We need this much donation. And I say, well, I'm the chair of the Board of Trustees at ICU. I have to donate to ICU instead. But then they say, well, last year you donated $300. What about $500 this year? And these are students who are calling me, asking for money. Of course, there's a supervisor behind them, but I'm really impressed by the efforts being made. Whereas at Japanese universities, look at them. They complain that the government is not paying them very much. But even at UC, they're only getting 10% plus from the state government. I think Tokyo Tech should try to collect this much gifts from outside, this yellow portion. So I'd like to pose this question to MIT, UC Berkeley. What sort of campaign are you doing to collect these gifts? So can you talk about this?